Did you know that most people are unknowingly walking into used car scams that cost them thousands of dollars? I've seen buyers lose $8,000 on flood-damaged cars and $12,000 on vehicles with hidden frame damage, all because they missed obvious red flags. Today, I'll reveal 17 inspection secrets that even some mechanics don't know about. Apply these techniques right away, and you could easily avoid catastrophic losses, plus spot the scams before it's too late. Ready? Let's dive into the hidden tricks scammers use and how you can catch them every single time. Scam number 1. The spotless engine bay trap. Here's the first red flag that most people actually think is a good sign. A spotless, perfectly clean engine bay. I've seen this mistake cost buyers over $5,000 in hidden repairs. And here's why this is actually a massive warning sign. When you pop the hood and see an engine bay that looks like it just rolled off the factory floor, that's not careful maintenance. That's a cover-up. Dishonest sellers will pressure wash engines to hide oil leaks, coolant leaks, and even serious problems like blown head gaskets. A genuine used car should have normal road dust and minor grime that shows consistent, honest use. Here's what you do instead. Look for an engine bay that's reasonably clean, but shows signs of normal wear. If it's suspiciously spotless, ask yourself why someone would deep clean an engine bay right before selling. The answer is usually because they're hiding something expensive. This simple awareness check can save you thousands in unexpected repairs within the first few months. Scam number 2. The fresh undercoating deception. Speaking of cover-ups, here's the second red flag that catches even experienced buyers. Fresh undercoating or a suspiciously clean undercarriage. Most people see this and think the previous owner took great care of the vehicle. But here's what's really happening. Smart scammers know that rust and frame damage are deal breakers, so they'll spray fresh undercoating or even paint the entire undercarriage to hide serious structural problems. I've personally seen cars with frame rot so bad they were unsafe to drive, but the fresh coating made them look solid at first glance. Here's your solution, and it takes less than 2 minutes. Bring a small flashlight and a screwdriver to every inspection. Gently probe areas that look freshly painted. If the metal feels soft or flakes away, you've just discovered frame damage that could cost $8,000 to $12,000 to fix properly. Real used cars will show normal road salt residue and light surface rust. If everything looks perfect underneath, that's when you should be most suspicious. Scam number 3. The VIN number shell game. Now here's where scammers get really dangerous. Tampering with vehicle identification numbers. This third red flag has saved buyers from purchasing stolen vehicles, cloned cars, and vehicles with completely fabricated histories. Here's the problem. Most people miss. They check the VIN on the dashboard and think they're done, but professional car thieves and title washers know this. They'll often leave the dashboard VIN alone, but alter or remove VINs in other locations to hide the car's real identity. Here's what you need to do, and this is non-negotiable. Check the VIN in at least 3 places: the dashboard near the windshield, the driver's side door frame, and the engine bay. All these numbers must match exactly. If you find a missing VIN plate, scratched numbers, or any mismatches, you're looking at a stolen vehicle or worse. I've seen people lose their entire purchase price, plus face legal problems when these cars get impounded. This 30-second check can literally save you from losing everything and protect you from unwittingly buying stolen property. Scam number 4. The odometer rollback epidemic. Here's a statistic that's going to shock you. 1 in 10 used cars has rolled back mileage. And this fourth red flag is costing buyers thousands, because high mileage problems hit them completely unexpectedly. The problem is that digital odometers are easier to tamper with than most people realize, and scammers know that every 10,000 miles rolled back can add $2,000 to $3,000 to a car's value. But here's what they can't fake: the wear patterns that tell the real story. Here's how you catch them every time. Check the steering wheel, brake pedals, and driver's seat for wear that doesn't match the stated mileage. A car showing 30,000 miles shouldn't have a worn-through steering wheel or completely smooth brake pedals. Also look for service stickers under the hood or on door frames that might show previous mileage readings. I once caught a car that claimed 45,000 miles but had an oil change sticker showing 78,000 miles from 2 years earlier. This simple cross-check can save you from buying a high-mileage vehicle disguised as a low-mileage gem, preventing thousands in unexpected repairs when the real mileage catches up to you. Scam number 5. The missing airbag death trap. Here's the 5th red flag that could literally save your life: missing or fake airbags. I've seen accident victims discover too late that their airbags were removed after deployment and never properly replaced, and this is one of the most dangerous scams in the used car market. Here's what's happening that most people never consider. After a serious collision, replacing airbags properly costs $1,500 to $3,000 per airbag. Dishonest sellers will either leave them missing, install cheap fake airbags, or worse, stuff the airbag compartments with rags or foam to hide the fact that they're empty. You won't know until you need them most. Here's how you check this in under a minute. Start the car and watch for airbag warning lights on the dashboard. They should briefly light up during startup, then turn off. If the airbag light never comes on or stays illuminated, that's your warning. Also, run your hand along the airbag covers on the steering wheel and dashboard. Real airbags create a slightly raised, firm surface. Fake airbags feel hollow, soft, or have visible glue residue around the edges. This simple check could save your life in an accident and prevent you from buying a vehicle that's been in a serious crash with undisclosed damage. Scam number 6. The dashboard warning light trick. Speaking of warning lights, here's the 6th red flag that reveals one of the oldest tricks in the scammer playbook: disabled dashboard warning lights. This deception can hide thousands of dollars in engine and emissions problems. The problem is that check engine lights and other warning indicators can tank a car's value and scare away buyers, so dishonest sellers will actually remove the bulbs or disable the warning system to make serious mechanical problems disappear. You think you're buying a problem-free car, but you're actually purchasing someone else's nightmare. Here's your foolproof detection method. When you first start the car, every single warning light should illuminate for a few seconds during the self-test sequence. This includes check engine, oil pressure, battery, airbag, ABS, and any other warning lights. If any light never comes on during startup, assume there's a hidden problem and that someone has tampered with the warning system. I once discovered a car with a removed check engine light bulb that was hiding a $2,400 catalytic converter failure. This 5-second startup check can reveal thousands of dollars in hidden mechanical problems and save you from expensive surprises down the road. Scam number 7. The service history ghost story. Now here's the 7th red flag that separates smart buyers from victims: missing or inconsistent service history. Most people think this is just a minor inconvenience, but I've seen this single oversight cost buyers $8,000 to $12,000 in preventable engine failures. Here's what most people don't understand. A car without documented maintenance history is like a time bomb. You have no idea what's been neglected, what's overdue, or what problems are developing. Scammers love selling high-maintenance vehicles right before major services are due, letting you inherit all the expensive repairs. Here's what you demand from every seller, and this is non-negotiable. Ask for maintenance records covering at least the past 2 years, including oil changes, fluid services, and any major repairs. If they can't provide basic documentation, walk away immediately. A car without service history assumes the worst-case scenario: no oil changes, no fluid services, no preventive maintenance. I've seen engines seize up within months of purchase because the oil hadn't been changed in over 2 years. This simple documentation check can save you thousands in catastrophic repairs and ensure you're buying a properly maintained vehicle, not someone else's neglected problem. Scam number 8. The pre-purchase inspection panic. Here's the 8th red flag that instantly separates honest sellers from scammers: their reaction when you mention getting a pre-purchase inspection. I've seen this single request make dishonest sellers panic and reveal exactly what they're hiding. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. Honest sellers with nothing to hide will welcome an independent mechanic's inspection because they know it validates their asking price. But scammers will immediately start making excuses, claiming they're in a hurry, have other buyers waiting, or that an inspection isn't necessary. They know that a professional inspection will uncover the flood damage, frame problems, or engine issues they're desperately trying to hide. Here's your power move that costs you nothing but saves you everything. Tell every seller that your purchase is contingent on a pre-purchase inspection by your chosen mechanic. Watch their reaction carefully. If they refuse, make excuses, or try to rush you into a decision, you've just identified a scammer. Walk away immediately. A legitimate seller will either allow the inspection or provide recent inspection records. This simple request has saved my clients from flood-damaged cars, vehicles with hidden accident damage, and mechanical problems that would have cost $10,000 to $15,000. The $150 inspection fee is the best money you'll ever spend, and any seller who refuses it is hiding something expensive. Scam number 9. The paint and panel cover-up. Now here's the 9th red flag that reveals expensive collision damage. Mismatched paint and body panels that most people miss in poor lighting. I've seen buyers discover frame damage worth $12,000 in repairs, all because they didn't know how to spot the visual clues of poor bodywork. The problem is that after accidents, many cars get cheap, quick repairs that look acceptable under dealership lights or in dim garages. But poor collision repair work always leaves telltale signs that reveal the true extent of damage. You might think you're getting a clean car, but you're actually buying someone else's totaled vehicle. Here's how you catch this deception. Every single time, always inspect the car in bright, natural daylight, never under artificial lights. Look at each panel from multiple angles and check for differences in color, gloss, or texture. Run your hand along panel gaps to feel for unevenness. Original factory paint has a consistent finish and perfect panel alignment. If you see orange peel texture, color variations, or panels that don't line up properly, you're looking at accident damage. For the ultimate test, bring a small paint thickness gauge. They cost $30 online and will detect body filler or repainted sections instantly. This simple inspection technique can save you from buying a vehicle with hidden structural damage that affects safety, reliability, and resale value for years to come. Scam number 10. The tire wear truth detector. Here's the 10th red flag that works like a crystal ball. Uneven tire wear patterns that predict expensive suspension and alignment problems. Most people glance at tires to see if they need replacement, but I'm going to teach you how to read them like a diagnostic report that can save you thousands. Here's what most buyers completely miss. Tires wear in specific patterns that reveal hidden mechanical problems. Cupping, scalloping, or uneven edge wear doesn't just mean you need new tires. It signals alignment issues, worn suspension components, or even frame damage that can cost $3,000 to $6,000 to repair properly. Here's your tire inspection system that takes 2 minutes but reveals thousands in hidden problems. Check all 4 tires for even tread wear across the entire surface. Look for cupping or scallop patterns that indicate worn shocks or struts. Check for excessive wear on inside or outside edges that signals alignment problems or bent suspension components. Feel each tire with your hand. Smooth, even wear is good, but choppy or uneven surfaces reveal expensive mechanical issues. If the car needs 4 new tires plus has suspension problems, you're looking at an additional $2,000 to $4,000 in immediate costs. This simple tire reading technique can reveal the true mechanical condition of any vehicle and help you negotiate thousands off the asking price or walk away from a money pit disguised as a good deal. Scam number 11. The salvage title bargain trap. Here's the 11th red flag that destroys resale value and can make your car unyourable. A salvage or rebuilt title that sellers try to downplay as a minor issue. I've seen buyers lose their entire investment when they discover their bargain car can't be insured or financed by most companies. Here's the devastating truth that sellers won't tell you. A salvage title means the car was declared a total loss by an insurance company, usually from flood damage, fire damage, or collision damage, so severe that repairs cost more than the car was worth. Even if it's been rebuilt, you're buying a vehicle that was once considered destroyed, and this destroys both safety and value permanently. Here's what you absolutely must verify before buying any vehicle. Run the vehicle identification number through a title history service and demand to see the actual title document. If you see salvage, rebuilt, flood, or lemon anywhere on that title, understand that you're buying a car that will be worth 30 to 50% less than comparable clean title vehicles. Most banks won't finance salvage title cars. Most insurance companies won't provide full coverage, and many states have strict restrictions on registration. Even if the asking price seems like an amazing deal, you'll lose that savings and more when you try to sell or trade the vehicle. This title check can save you from making a purchase that becomes a financial dead end with no exit strategy. Scam number 12. The engine oil crystal ball. Speaking of hidden problems, here's the 12th red flag that predicts catastrophic engine failure. Dirty, sludgy, or neglected engine oil that reveals years of poor maintenance. This simple fluid check has saved buyers from engine rebuilds costing $8,000 to $12,000. Here's what most people don't realize about engine oil. Clean oil should be amber or honey-colored and feel slick between your fingers. But when you see black, thick, gritty, or sludgy oil, you're looking at an engine that's been systematically destroyed by neglect. This isn't just about needing an oil change. This indicates internal engine damage that's already happening. Here's your engine health diagnostic that takes 30 seconds. Pull out the oil dipstick and examine both the color and consistency of the oil. Fresh oil is amber and flows smoothly. Oil that's dark brown or black indicates extended change intervals. But here's the killer. If you see thick, gritty, or sludgy oil that looks like chocolate pudding, you're looking at an engine with severe internal wear. This sludge clogs oil passages, destroys bearings, and leads to complete engine failure within months of purchase. I once saw a car with oil so thick it barely moved on the dipstick. That engine seized up 6 weeks after the buyer took it home. This simple oil check can reveal the true mechanical condition of any engine and save you from inheriting someone else's maintenance disasters that cost thousands to fix. Scam number 13. The transmission fluid warning system. Now here's the 13th red flag that predicts transmission failure: burnt, dark, or contaminated transmission fluid that most people never think to check. I've seen transmission rebuilds cost $6,000 to $9,000, all because buyers didn't spend 30 seconds checking this critical fluid. Here's what transmission fluid tells you about the car's future. Fresh transmission fluid should be bright red or pink and smell neutral. But when you see dark brown or black fluid, or smell a burnt odor, you're looking at a transmission that's already damaged internally. This isn't maintenance neglect. This is component failure that's actively happening. Here's how you check transmission health, even in sealed systems. For cars with dipsticks, check the fluid color and smell it. Fresh fluid is bright red and odorless. Dark, burnt-smelling fluid indicates internal damage from overheating or wear. For sealed transmissions, insist on seeing recent service records or ask the seller to have it checked by a shop. During your test drive, pay attention to harsh shifting, slipping, or delayed engagement. These are symptoms of internal failure. A transmission that's showing burnt fluid or shifting problems will likely fail within the first year of ownership, leaving you with repair bills that often exceed the car's value. This fluid check can save you from buying a vehicle that's already on borrowed time and prevent you from inheriting someone else's transmission disaster. Scam number 14. The sound of money leaving your wallet. Here's the 14th red flag that most buyers completely ignore: unusual noises during the test drive that reveal expensive mechanical problems. I've learned to translate these sounds into dollar amounts, and what I'm about to share could save you thousands in hidden repairs. Here's what most people do wrong during test drives. They turn up the radio, chat with the seller, and miss the warning sounds that predict costly failures. Every mechanical component makes specific noises when it's failing, and learning to recognize these sounds is like having X-ray vision into the car's mechanical health. Here's your complete audio diagnostic system. Turn off the radio and roll down the windows before you even start driving. Listen for whining noises during acceleration that indicate transmission or differential problems. Pay attention to grinding sounds when braking that signal worn brake components. Notice squealing during turns that reveals worn steering components or wheel bearings. Listen for knocking or rattling from the engine that indicates internal wear or timing chain issues. Each of these sounds represents hundreds or thousands in upcoming repairs. A whining differential can cost $2,000. Grinding brakes need immediate attention and can damage rotors if ignored. Wheel bearing noise often indicates suspension work needed. Engine knocking can mean catastrophic internal damage. This systematic listening approach during your test drive can identify expensive problems before you buy and give you massive negotiating power, or help you avoid money pits completely. Scam number 15. The flood damage smell test. Here's the 15th red flag that reveals one of the most expensive problems you can buy: flood damage that creates electrical nightmares for years. I've seen flood-damaged cars cost owners $12,000 to $18,000 in ongoing electrical failures, and most buyers miss the obvious warning signs. Here's what happens with flood-damaged vehicles that sellers won't tell you. Water destroys electrical systems, corrodes connections, and creates problems that appear months or even years after purchase. These cars often look perfect on the surface, but the electrical gremlins start appearing one by one. Power windows fail, computers malfunction, and wiring harnesses corrode from the inside out. Here's your flood damage detection system that works every time. First, smell the interior carefully. Flood cars have a distinctive musty mildew odor that's impossible to completely eliminate. Check under floor mats and seat cushions for dampness, water stains, or rust that doesn't belong. Look in the trunk and spare tire area for mud, silt, or water damage signs. Test every electrical component: windows, locks, lights, radio, air conditioning, and charging ports. If multiple electrical items aren't working or work intermittently, you're likely looking at flood damage. Also check for water lines or silt residue in the engine bay and under the hood. Flood-damaged cars are automotive cancer. The problems never stop appearing, and each repair leads to discovering more water damage. This thorough flood inspection can save you from years of electrical problems and thousands in ongoing repair costs. Scam number 16. The electronics failure forecast. Now here's the 16th red flag that predicts expensive electrical repairs, malfunctioning or recently replaced electronics that sellers dismiss as minor issues. I've seen buyers face $4,000 to $8,000 in electrical repairs because they didn't properly test every system before purchase. Here's the problem with modern cars that most people underestimate. Today's vehicles have dozens of electronic systems that are expensive to diagnose and repair. When sellers say it just needs a simple fuse or the radio just needs to be reset, they're usually hiding much more expensive electrical problems that they couldn't afford to fix. Here's your complete electrical system test that takes 5 minutes but reveals thousands in potential problems. Test every window switch, door lock, mirror adjustment, seat control, and charging port. Check that the infotainment system boots up properly and all screens display correctly. Test the air conditioning, heating, and all fan speeds. Make sure backup cameras work and parking sensors function. Watch for flickering displays, systems that turn on and off randomly, or controls that work intermittently. Each malfunctioning electrical system can cost $500 to $1,500 to repair, and electrical problems often cascade. Fixing one issue reveals 3 more. If you find multiple electrical problems, walk away immediately. Modern car electrical systems are incredibly complex and expensive to repair. This systematic electrical test can save you from buying someone else's electrical nightmare and prevent thousands in diagnostic fees and component replacements. Scam number 17. The seatbelt safety scam. Here's the 17th and final red flag that could save your life. Re-stitched or improperly replaced seatbelts that compromise crash safety. This is one of the most dangerous cost-cutting measures I've encountered, and it reveals serious undisclosed accident history. Here's what happens after serious crashes that most people never consider. Seatbelts are designed to stretch and absorb energy during impacts, and once they've done their job, they need to be completely replaced. But replacing seatbelts properly costs $300 to $600 each. So some sellers will restitch torn belts or install cheap aftermarket replacements that won't protect you in an accident. Here's how you inspect seatbelts for tampering in under a minute. Pull each seatbelt completely out and examine the webbing for uneven stitching, different colored thread, or puckered areas that indicate repair work. Factory seatbelts have consistent, perfect stitching throughout. Look for fraying edges that have been restitched or cut and sewn back together. Check that the belt retracts smoothly and locks properly when pulled quickly. Also examine the seatbelt mounting points for scratches or replacement bolts that indicate the belts have been removed. If you find evidence of seatbelt repair or replacement, you're looking at a car that was in a serious accident with undisclosed damage. Compromised seatbelts can fail in a crash, putting your family at deadly risk. This safety inspection takes seconds but could literally save your life and reveals accident history that affects the car's value and structural integrity. There you have it. 17 red flags that can save you thousands of dollars and potentially your life when buying a used car. Let me quickly recap the most critical ones that you need to remember every single time you shop. Following these techniques religiously can easily save you $8,000 to $15,000 in avoided repairs, plus protect you from buying stolen vehicles, flood damage, or cars with hidden accident history. The few minutes you spend on these inspections could save you years of expensive problems. Remember, knowledge is your best defense against used car scams, and these 17 red flags are your armor in the battle against dishonest sellers.